and contributions towards climate change in 2021, which included 47 energy-efficient management practices to reduce the country's carbon emissions. But the country will require about $16 billion over a period of 10 years to implement these projects by 2030. There's more.
Women often bear the brunt of challenges facing the world, and climate change is no exception. Ghana is expected to experience more acute climate hazards, such as flooding, as well as more frequent and intense droughts. Women are adversely affected by lack of access to land tenure security, technology, formal financial services, to socio-economic factors such as cultural and customary norms. Speaking at the maiden edition of the Anijie Global Gender and Climate Conference, Head of Environment at the United Nations Development Programme, Stephen Kansuk, says governments will require about $16 billion over a period of 10 years to implement energy-efficient practices to reduce carbon emissions.
The government requires or needs close to about $16 billion over a period of 10 years to implement about 47 actions that have been identified to reduce the carbon emissions by 64 million tons CO2 equivalent and create over 1 million jobs for youths, young women, and all other persons that are looking for jobs, that are green jobs that as a result of those interventions that it can create. But it is important to know that this issue cannot be addressed by government alone. It needs the collective partnership of all bodies.
In order to achieve the goal of reducing the country's carbon dioxide emissions by 64 million tons by 2030, it is important to prioritize carbon financing.
Ghana is the first country in the whole of Africa to have developed a carbon market policy under Article 6.2 of the Paris Agreement. And as a result of the development of that policy document, many more countries like the Switzerland, like Singapore, like Sweden are now in partnership with government to mobilize carbon revenue. And so far, the agreement has been said, we have identified specific areas of work like climate smart agriculture for right farmers, waste recovery with private sector to mobilize in close to about $42 million to implement climate change interventions across the country.
Other panelists highlighted the gendered impacts of climate change.
As a youth, I think that we have the youthful energy. We are able to go into communities to advocate, to do a lot of mobilization and community capacity building sessions, to do a lot of participatory activities as young persons to inform our communities on the negative effects of their actions and how they can join in the fight against climate change.
Anijie Global Foundation is an NGO that creates socio-economic empowerment of women, youth, and children to improve the quality of life.
Network Nathan Kwabena Anijie DC, popularly known as Bolare, has officially launched his